Hello everybody, Lucarios here and welcome to week 6 of IHops. It's been over a week since I played a match or did anything related to League, which is quite weird because usually I do a lot of it, but I've been on a trip, so fun times there. I've been coming back in here, going up against Rochi and the Arceus Amsterdam, who is a replacement coach for Lord Master Lucas, who unfortunately had to drop. Would have been great to play him, but I don't actually know what the team's record is. I feel like the team's record is 2-1. I think Rochi's played one game, which he did win. Lucas... No, if it's 2-1, he would have played 2, so maybe he's 1-1 or something like that, or the team's 1-1. I know he's definitely won a match, at least. His team is very, very, very scary. So we're definitely going to have our work cut out here. We're sitting at 4-1, currently top of the league. The two of the teams that were 3-1, including Jonathan, who I played last week, are now 3-2. Clash of Max hasn't actually played yet. His week 5 match, he had some things come up, so he's still 3-1 as we speak, but hopefully I can push on here and get to 5-1, basically already guaranteed in playoffs, because unless I get smacked in a few games, because my differential's good, and we've got to the 4 wins, but one more win would definitely guarantee it, which is what we're aiming for here against a very, very scary team though. So let's get into Rochi's team, what I think he's going to bring. Jirachi is very, very good at doing a lot of different things. I think in this matchup he's likely to bring it especially defensive, maybe even with a it's not Kebia Berry. I think it's Kebia or Cassiva. I forget which one is the ghost resist and which one's the poison resist. Whichever one, to try and check Lele well, because otherwise he doesn't have great Lele responses. I really wouldn't be surprised to see that, or something like an AV Kecleon, which you'll see later down the line. But Jirachi's just good at that. So you could also maybe try and run it Scarf and try and more offensively beat the Lele. That could be an option for him as well. That's I was thinking there. His Steel Stab really isn't that great here though, because it allows Salazar and it also allows Vaporeon and Magron to just sit in front of it all day long. So that's something to keep in mind there. You may also try and run a Sugar Berry set and run Ice Punch to try and 1v1 Garchomp in that sense as well, though I am anticipating that more bulky set, especially because he has a lot of breakers that do a lot of work against my team. One of which is Cinderace. Cinderace obviously can't run Libero in this, which is why it's only 13 points. There are some leagues that do allow Libero Cinderace as like a 19-point mon. It's like slightly higher tier than regular, but IHops is not one of them. It's still a really big threat though. It still gets really good coverage between like fighting moves and stuff, and Pyrobal's just a strong stab in general. You most likely see Boots run on it, especially because I've got a very reliable Rock and Mega Aggron. He could also maybe run something like a Banded set or a Banded or something that doesn't make that much sense here, or like a Scarfed maybe, or a Life Orb or something like that. Could always see something like that, or another Sugar Berry mon, because I think this gets Ice Punch. I think this gets well, not Ice Punch. I think it gets something that hits. I think it hits Play Rough is what I'm trying to say. So that's a big threat. Galarian Darmanitan is a massive breaker. You can either run Guerrilla Tactics, which is basically a choice band on it, and run like a Scarf as well, and then you're really fast, or you can run double band if you really wanted, which I think could be good here for him. You can also see, what I've seen run a few times is the Zen mode variant with like Sub and Salak Berry. So then you run like Belly Drum, and then you're one of those kind of mons, which is very scary as well. I've definitely taken precautions to deal with that set, because that can just absolutely sweep the game. It's just a massive threat, even like Banded, like Guerrilla Tactics Scarf or Guerrilla Tactics Band has absolutely no switch-ins in the entire game pretty much. It's that big a threat, but he has a lot of good breakers, so I could see more of a sweeper variant coming. Mega Gallade is another great breaker, fighting and cycling stuff. I played it earlier in the season, back in week 1, and a lot of changes have gone on and loads of different teams since then, so I'm playing it again. What do you know? It's just a great mon overall. It really is. It's got good bulk, and has got a great base speed at 110. Great stabs, can Swords Dance, has Shadow Sneak priority, although once again, as I said, week 1, my Psychic Surge is going to stop that. Just does a lot of good things in general. Can run Ice Punch for Garchomp as well, and can probably run like knockoff and stuff. But similarly to how I talked about it week 1, it runs into a bit of a move slot syndrome here for sure. Does he forego a stab? Or does he forego knockoff? Does he forego Ice Punch? Does he forego setup? He's got to consider all of those choices in this one. Seismitoad is just a bulky water ground type, very reliable rocker, which I could see him bringing purely for the rocks, because I haven't shown to bring that much removal this season. That's if he's been keeping track of my brings and stuff, which he may or may not have done. It's just a decent Garchomp response because it can run like Ice Beam and stuff. It's also a decent Zapdos response if it's not banded, stuff like that. It can kind of sit in on. It can work with Vaporeon because of its water immunity, so I can't flip turn and stuff like that. That's basically what Seismitoad does. Wouldn't be surprised to see it come, but I think he does have better things he can bring in this one. Comfey has a weird matchup because in some respects it's a very, very good response to Garchomp and Zapdos, because it can come in, take one hit pretty well, and then threatens back with Priority Draining Kiss because of Triarch, which that's awesome for him. At the same time, it can also Giga Drain into Vaporeon and do stuff like that. At the same time, gets walled all day long by Aggron, which I've brought to every match so far, so he may be discouraged from bringing it for that reason. It also hard loses to all three of my poison types, pretty much, so that may dissuade him from bringing that. I do still think it's a good bring for him though, especially against the team I have brought. It beats 5 of the 6 pretty much. Well, it beats 4 of the 6 because it's not going to beat Lele, but it beats 5 of the 6. It beats 4 of the 6 pretty. No, not even that. It beats 3 of the 6 pretty well, and Zapdos, which I haven't brought, it beats pretty well too. Guzzlord is just a bulky Dragon Dark type. It's there as his Dark. Ghost Stab is very, very good against this team. Otherwise, that's kind of just there to stop that being as much of an issue. I don't massively see it coming here because I don't have a massively offensive Ghost type. And it just doesn't check anything really on the team. It loses to all of my it loses to my main 3 offensive mons. It's going to check Salazzle quite well, but he has stuff like Seismitoad and Gligar, which are not necessarily better checks to Salazzle, but checks to Salazzle that also check other things on the team that have been shown to be more threats over the course of the season. So that's what it is. Really don't anticipate Guzzlord. Rotom could be very, very good though. Like an offensive Rotom could be very, very scary. I don't have great go switch-ins outside of Alolan Muck, which is why I drafted it, so he could maybe try and take advantage of that, predict Alolan Muck not to come, which it does have a decent matchup here, so there'd be a risky one from him, and try and really break that way. Could run Nasty Plot, could run Scarf, could run like Agility Nasty Plot even as well. Kecleon's just a bulky mon, especially if you run like AV. Assault Vest sets are very, very bulky. It can take 2 Lele hits, not if it's Specs though, which he may be dissuaded from doing it for that reason, but he can. I'm not sure if Protein would work if the move fails, so he could try and like Sucker Punch and fail on a Psychic or something, and get the Dark typing, which could be a way he plays it. But Kecleon's main draw is obviously its priority. Then it can run like Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch, and my Psychic Terrain stops that, so I'm not sure how likely it is to try and do that. It's a decent bulky response to stuff like Lele though, and even Garchomp as well. It can run Ice Punch, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it come. I think I have it on the layout even, but no, I think I have Rotom on the layout, but it's pretty scary overall. Gligar is very, very good here. It checks Garchomp incredibly well, just because it's a ground immunity and it's just incredibly bulky. Pretty much, I have to run Life Orb on Lele to be able to 2-shot physically defensive Gligar. That's bulky. It's also a decent Zapdos response with that physical bulk as well, so he definitely brings the Gligar here. It's just a question of how far into the physical defense does he go, because I believe if he runs fully physically defensive, he actually checks banded Zapdos pretty well, so I feel like that's probably what he tries to do. It's very tough for me to break down because of immunity as well, so I can't Toxicate even with Salazzle as far as I'm aware. I think that's the one thing that 100% stops me doing that. Carbink is just a bulky Rock Fairy type. It's worse Diancie, essentially. It can actually check non-banded Zapdos okay. If he wants to try and go that direction, I feel like he's more likely to bring Gligar. To do that though, Carbink does just kind of lose to Garchomp as well as Lele, and just gets completely walled by Aggron and loses to Salazzle and all of that jazz. And then Roserade, which is very scary in a lot of senses. Thankfully, I have a Mega Aggron, and I have which kind of majorly dissuades it from coming, in theory. So that should hopefully be enough there. He maybe could try and bring a hazard stacking one though to try and take advantage of my lack of hazard removal that I've brought over the course of the season. So if I had to predict to 6, I think the top 4 probably do come, even though they're all very physical. I feel like Jirachi probably more specially defensive, Cinderace and Gallade are the main breakers, and then Darmanitan kind of sweeping. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Gligar I think definitely comes. I think if any mon definitely comes to this match, it should be the Gligar because of how well it checks Garchomp and Zapdos. And then for a 6th, I could see so many different things. I could see Seismitoad, Comfey, Rotom, Kecleon, Roserade, heck, even the Carbink maybe. I could see so many of those things coming to this one. It's tough. I think it's a nice 5 to try and go for. but the 6th is just so impossible to call in this one, which makes the build tough for me. So let's get into what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. Starting off with this choice Scarf Garchomp here, actually bringing physical this time on the Scarf set. I was actually looking through stats and I'm thinking, well, if I've brought special Garchomp this season, I can definitely bring physical Lele, because Lele actually has a higher attack stat than Garchomp does a special attack stat, which is kind of fun. And Lele gets player off, so it's always interesting. But Garchomp is just good here. This is a set that's always going to threaten Jirachi, even if it's Scarf. I can come in on it, click Earthquake, do all of that jazz. And it's an offensive set. It threatens an Oko. It's a roll. On more defensive sets, I have to be a bit more careful. But if it's more defensive, Life Punch won't kill me. So that's something to keep in mind. Stone Edge, I'm also always faster. Stone Edge is there because I'm also always faster than Darmanitan. And if I need to Gambit on a Stone Edge hitting, I can do that. It does up to 85%, I believe, which is slightly more than my other moves do. So that's something to keep in mind there. Earthquake is obviously going to kill Cinderace anyway, which I'm also faster than with the Scarf. The same thing applies to Mega Glade. I'm faster than the Scarf. It does live any hit though, so it needs some damage off on it there. I don't two-shot Seismitoad, which is something to keep in mind, which you could try and bring it that way. I don't think Seismitoad is that great from here though. Poison Jab actually doesn't do as much to Comfey as I was expecting it to do. My Earthquake only does like 2% less on the max roll, so I was like, may as well just bring Dragon Claw on to the set in case he brings the Guzzlord, so I just beat that. And it also does a little bit more to Rotom, Dragon Claw, whereas I didn't really need Poison Jab that much. And then Aqua Tail is there to hit Gligar, which on fully physically offensive Gligar does 30%. If it's weakened, and I have Taunt on this set to try and stop it roosting, if it's weakened, I can hit Aqua Tails and kill it or something like that. That's hopefully what we're going for there. If I'm in against Cinderace, I can obviously click Aqua Tail fairly freely, but obviously Seismitoad would be immune to it if he brings that, so something to be careful of there. That's pretty much all there is to say about that set. I outpace max speed Scarf Jirachi just in case that comes. If he brings Scarf Jirachi, he'd likely bring it to be faster than Scarf Lele, so he'd be very close to max speed anyway. This is also a good insurance policy against the Zen mode Darmanitan set I was talking about, where you can run like Salak and get the +1 speed, and then he's effectively Scarfed. I can stop that happening. I can stop that sweeping because I'm faster than that, pretty much. Lele was the 6th member of this team here, and I basically chose it over Zapdos because it's better against Gligar. I needed something that beat Gligar, and this does beat Gligar, pretty much. I had to run Life Orb to do so, though. He probably wins Physical anyway, but on special set, there's actually still only a roll to two-shot with Psychic, and he can obviously stall out Terrain with Roost, which hopefully won't happen. This is just nice. This allows me to basically 1v1 something. I live a hit from Cinderace just about. I also live a Mega Glade hit fairly easily, so I can kind of 1v1 Mega Glade, something like that, and he just doesn't have great Fairy Switch-ins outside of Jirachi, which I can Shadow Ball. And as I mentioned earlier, his Ghost Switch-ins aren't great either, especially if he doesn't bring Guzzlord Kecleon. Something to keep in mind there. I can Shadow Ball into kind of Jirachi and it hits Gallade and stuff. And then Energy Ball is there for the Seismitoad, pretty much. I have gone max speed to speed tie Darmanitan if I need to. Hopefully I won't need to though, but I thought that was nice as a potential insurance policy option. Pretty much that's all there is to say about that. Mega Aggron coming back here, especially defensive again, with Stealth Rock, Heavy Slam, Earthquake and Ice Punch. And essentially this set is here to 1v1 something. It 1v1's offensive Jirachi, although as I said, I think he brings more defensive with like Wish or something. It can 1v1 Cinderace, 1v1 Darmanitan, kind of can 1v1 Mega Glade. I don't kill it back, so something in mind there, but if it's been weakened, I can do that, whereas I do actually one-shot Cinderace with Earthquake and one-shot Darmanitan with Heavy Slam. Ice Punch is there just as something that's going to hit Gligar. I can potentially two-shot it depending on how much physical defense he runs. And I believe after Stealth Rocks, which is why Stealth Rocks are really nice, my Ice Punch is a two-shot on the Gligar under all circumstances, so that's really, really awesome. That's pretty much it. Heavy Slam also allows me to just beat Comfey, and this is also going to be a switch into Roserade if he brings that, although a Life Orb like Leaf Storm does like 40%, but see it then drops its special attack, and I just get to Heavy Slam into something, which is pretty scary for him. That's pretty much all there is to say about this set. It's also basically what I'm using against Kecleon if he brings that, which is kind of tough for me to deal with. He can run like Rest and stuff, but I can kind of try and set up on it if he does that, so that's something to keep in mind there. That's pretty much all there is to say about this set. It will come in on Guzzlord as well if he brings that. Pretty much, it's there to check Roserade if he brings it, and Comfey. But although I have other stuff that does with Comfey quite well, and then it's there to 1v1 one of those top 4. So apart from like Mega can be slightly dodgy at doing that, so not risking that one. But against any of the others, that's definitely what we're doing. Vaporeon is coming here, fully physically defensive. First thing that goes on to the team. This is checking basically everything. It checks Jirachi, Cinderace, and Darmanitan, and it has to do that. And then I can kind of Wish, Protect, Scold, and Flip Turn. I've got the leftover, which allows me to just take hits slightly better. It's a very scary matchup. There's a lot of weight on Vaporeon's shoulders here at checking that top 3, although their Aggron can obviously come in on Jirachi as well. If it's a more bulky Jirachi, I do kind of have to go Vaporeon though, because I can Flip Turn on it. If you bring Seismitoad, that's really annoying, because the crux of this game kind of does rely on Vaporeon being able to Flip Turn around off of stuff, whereas if you have Seismitoad, I can't actually do that. So that's kind of scary. Skull's just a nice move to hit into all the stuff, including like the Gligar. It will do a lot to Cinderace, it can do quite a bit to Darmanitan, it can do quite a bit to Glade, and with how physical the offense of this team is, Scald Burn could be really, really awesome here as well. Gourgeist coming fully physically defensive as well. This is here as it was week 1 to check the Mega Glade. With Cold Berry to take a knockoff really, really well, although more likely an Ice Punch, which does like 30%, which isn't too bad. Poltergeist is actually a very good click against this team, because as I said, not many Ghost Resists, it's just the Guzzlord and the Kecleon, and then it does a lot to stuff like Glade and Jirachi and stuff like that. And then just standard Leech Seed Will-O-Wisp Synthesis. Will-O-Wisp is really, really nice because his likely kind of switch in, he tries to punish is to go like, maybe like a Guzzlord or a Kecleon. And if I can burn both of those, it makes them a lot less effective. Or even if he tries to make an aggressive switch into like a Darmanitan, I can Will-O-Wisp that and it becomes far less effective. Synthesis is there for longevity. This thing can be really, really good in this matchup. It's another thing just like the Aggron, which actually just lives a hit from everything just about. It lives a Cinderace hit just about, I believe. It takes like max 96 from a Power Ball. That was on Jolly, which he kind of has to run for Salazzle. Jolly in this one, it lives a Darmanitan. It doesn't live a Darmanitan hit if it's Guerrilla Tactics. It will if it's Zen mode though, but he's obviously going to be setting up if it's Zen mode. I take hits from Jirachi fairly well, and I obviously take hits from Glade fairly well, so that's really, really nice. I can also do okay against Comfey if it isn't fully set up, and I do okay against the Rotom also. I believe I live 1 Shadow Ball. I can hit Poltergeist back and do quite a bit of damage, and I can kind of... And without his... Well, his Grass type is Roserade, which doesn't have a great matchup here, so my Leech Seed is really nice here just for longevity and kind of healing Aggron as well, potentially, if he goes into like Guzzlord or Kecleon on Gourgeist. And then rounding out the team here, Salazzle. Oh, let's not check that, let's just check that didn't break. Okay, cool. Rounding out the team, we've got Salazzle coming back after 2 good weeks, weeks 2 and 3. We've got Taunt, Nasty Plot, Sludge Wave, and Flamethrower, and this is hopefully going to be the sweeper for this matchup. Taunt is here because Gligar is a very good switch into me. If I can taunt the Gligar, I stop it roosting, so if he's taken a bit of damage, he can't heal it back up, which is really helpful for me having potential 2-shots on it with Aqua from Garchomp and also Ice Punch from Big Aggron. And in theory, what this does is it forces him to U-turn. Or forces him to hard switch, so I can kind of then go Aggron on the Gligar, and then he goes maybe into Cinderace or Darmanitan, and I then get in the situation where I'm 1v1 one of those mons, which is kind of what we want to do. Nasty Plot Salazzle can just win the game though if there's a bit of damage on the Gligar, a bit of damage on the Seismitoad, and a little bit of damage on... Obviously Guzzlord would have to be gone, and Kecleon would have to be weakened. But otherwise this is really, really good. And against Jirachi, Cinderace, Darmanitan, Glade, all of which I'm faster than, which he probably runs at least 1 Scarf. I'm not faster than Cinderace, sorry, but the other 3 I'm faster than, and I 1v1 Cinderace as well if I go +2 or whatever. I feel like he likely brings 1 Scarfer in there, whether it's Jirachi or Darmanitan. I feel like that's pretty likely. Although if he doesn't really anticipate Salazzle, he probably doesn't, because stuff like Mega Glade is faster than the rest of the team. But obviously I've been shown to bring I've brought a Scarf every week in this league, so that's one of those. But this can do really, really well. And even if I can't set up, I can maybe 1v1 Cinderace or beat Darmanitan or 1v1 Jirachi, because if he runs a bulkier Jirachi, he likely doesn't bring Zen Headbutt. He'd likely bring like Wish, Protect, Iron Head, and Ice Punch. So you would leave Zen Headbutt off there, and I can actually set up Nasty Plot on the Jirachi, of all things, which is kind of cool. This is obviously going to beat Comfey as well, so I can be a little more aggro with Aggron if he brings Comfey, because I have Salazzle in the back, which without Hidden Power is a very good response to Comfey in mind there. So there's the team I'm bringing. Hopefully I'm not rusty, because it's been a while since I played, and I can pick up a win and move to 5-1. So see you guys in the battle. Okay, so he's brought a lot of different stuff to what I was expecting. No Darmanitan and no Jirachi, which is very, very surprising. If I had brought Specs Lele, there's absolutely no switch into it, because even AV Kecleon doesn't actually respond to it. But it is probably an AV Kecleon with how the team comp is. I'm also not sure where his sweep comes in. It may just be Soul Stance, GALLADE. Roserade is decent here, because I didn't bring Weezing or Alolan Muck, so Aggron is going to have its work cut out on that. I probably lead Aggron, which I forgot to mention in team build, but I probably lead Aggron under most circumstances here, especially because there's actually less stuff which responds to it, which is cool. Cinderace and Kecleon. So Kecleon's probably like EV or just max for death. Cool. They also have Ice Punch. Not bringing Zapdos is actually really good for Kecleon. Which is pretty scary. Like, Kecleon can be pretty scary. I've lost to like a Kecleon before. But my Lele looks really, really good. My Garchomp is also really, really good once Gligar goes down. As I said, Aggron lead is definitely what I want to go for here to get my Mega off 100%. Even if it's like a Cinderace lead, I want to get my Mega off 100% because Cinderace... Mega Aggron against Cinderace. His Fireball's doing like 45% max. I think that's definitely what I want to lead here. 100%. He does lead Cinderace. As I said, I'm absolutely fine trading this because it only does like half. That's on Jolly like boots. If it's Choice Band, even then it's not going to kill. It's going to do quite a bit though. And I can always wish this back up later if he does this. He probably clicks U-turn here though, under most circumstances, I'd imagine. So I could go for my rocks right at the start here. Because his likely swap would be Gligar. He should obviously just be immune to Earthquake. So I am somewhat tempted to just rock here. Because the fact that he's got it straight away may indicate it isn't boots. Why have I just typed in? Because the way he's got it straight away may indicate it's actually not boots. Potentially. He knows he won't kill though, and my Earthquake kills back. So I'm thinking my Earthquake actually doesn't kill back. I'm just feeling an Earthquake here. I'll make the safe play to start the game off. Right, I think I should just make the safe play. Mega Evolution. I think I should just make the safe play to start the game off. Go for an Earthquake. Yeah, I'm just going to safe Earthquake turn 1 here. He does stay in and we see U-turn. He probably goes Gligar now. Anticipating Earthquake. Yeah, we do see Gligar come in. I wonder what all these time nicknames are for. It seems quite fun. How much does his Earthquake do to me from Gligar? It's not much. It's literally 20%, and I can just Ice Punch and threaten this. So I'm just going to Ice Punch it. We do see U-turn off this as well. So this is fine. Nothing else will take much from an Ice Punch here. He can maybe just go back into Cinderace if he really wants, which he does. See Ice Punch come off of that again, and we get the freeze. Let me just check in case I'm being an idiot. I'm actually thinking I'm going to want to get my rocks up now, is what I'm thinking. So I go for my rocks now. Because he actually dies to Earthquake now, so he's either boots and doesn't do enough damage, or he's like banned and then I just get to switch into Vaporeon. It's not too big a deal. I'm going to get my rocks up here. What I was trying to check is... Okay, yeah, Pyro Ball does 4. Pyro Ball does 4. So, I think I just want to click Earthquake here. He does actually just go back into Gligar, so that's fine. I will get my rocks up now. He'll Earthquake do not much at all. We'll get my rocks up. You see EQ of Gligar. And this is really good. Because we're just beating down this team right now. Which is awesome. I feel like he'll maybe try and roost this time. Or you could defog. So I kind of like going Lele. I'm going to go Lele. Yeah, we do see roost. He'll probably go Kecleon. I imagine this Kecleon is AV. Yeah. I imagine this Kecleon is AV. He may also just stay in and think the Earthquake damage is worth it, because this doesn't one-shot. But it's definitely worth it to me to go 1v1 with this, because Gligar stops Garchomp. Gligar stops Garchomp. Thing to note with this being faster than Aggron is that my Ice Punch, if he clicks Roost, will do less damage because of the ground typing. Because it loses its flying typing, rather. This is fine. We got damage into this. Like, Aggron's taken 50, but it's not too bad. Yeah, this is definitely more AV. It actually... Oh, it's colour change. Interesting. Yeah, so that he's checked. That would work really well if I hadn't brought Life Orb for the first time this week. I brought it spec. I brought it choiced every week, apart from now. But that did a lot. That's not AV. Oh, no, 52. So I probably max rolled on Assault Vest. Yeah, I probably max rolled on Assault Vest. So I can actually Shadow Ball it this turn, which will go Cinderace, which won't like this. Yeah, not going to like that. And we get this with F drop as well. I do have to go into Vaporeon here though, because Pyro Ball falls. Yeah, you Pyro Ball. Cool. 22 means that's Boots as well, which I believe. So that's nice as well. Yeah, it's Boots. It's Boots. Or it's it could be Scarf still. It could be Scarf still. Boots / Scarf. That's all to keep in mind. Or it could be like something like a Charcoal. No, it wouldn't be Charcoal. With no Seismitoads showing, my flip turn is very free here because he's likely to go Roserade. He's not Libero, he's Blaze, so he can do 30% with like a high jump kick, but that's very risky if he goes for that, so I'm just going to flip turn here. He'll U-turn himself and get out here. That's okay, so I wish next time I come in, basically. He may go Roserade, he'll actually just go Kecleon. Which, Salazzle is very good here, by the way. Salazzle is very, very good here if I can just weaken the Gligar. The Gligar was just defense, wasn't it, based on the damage Aggron did? How much did my Ice Punch do? 43. Yeah, it's just max defense, Eviolite. I think just going Lele is my safest play here, realistically, because he doesn't have a switch in and he 100% sacks this. Although, with no Spadef, so how much does Salazzle do? It's like 30%, isn't it? Into Gligar. My Flamethrower actually does quite a bit. That isn't bad damage, you know? And then I can go Lele the turn after if he doesn't just sack. But I don't really want to be in a situation where Gligar gets to U-turn and I go, like, Gourgeist. So I think I'd rather go Lele here. Which he struggles to beat, 100%. It basically forces him to then go... it forces him to go Cinderace on the following turn, which means I can then go Vaporeon Or I go Salazzle, which is an option as well. Although not really, because it'd be faster. But he should just sack. He should just sack the Kecleon here. And we're in a situation here with Lele where if I can bring it in, it basically gets a kill every time, which is awesome. He'll go Carbink here, which I don't think this takes 2. No, it doesn't. So I'm not quite sure why he's made that play. I think sacking Kecleon was a much better play there from his perspective. Maybe he's just trying to get me in range for a Gallade knockoff, actually, through Life Orb Recoil, which could be what he's doing as well, because I think that's... Oh, did I max roll? Oh, I may have max rolled. Yeah, he'll just sack Kecleon here. So kill for Lele. Kecleon goes down. We're down to 61, so you can go Gallade knockoff, I believe, now, and it will kill. So I've lost my ability to 1v1 that. But we're in a really good spot here, with Carbink very weak, Cinderace very weak, and all of that jazz. I think it's very worth just keeping Lele in the back now to beat the Gligar. I think that's definitely where I'm at with that. I definitely want to keep this in the back to beat the Gligar. Although Gourgeist does beat Gligar 1v1 because of Leech Seed. So that's always nice. Oh, I can Wisp it as well and it will do even less damage. Yeah, that Vaporeon also 1v1's Gligar. Let's just wait to see what he does here. We can go and check. He'll go Gallade, yeah. So Gallade now kills with knockoff, I believe, is what we've worked out from that. Yeah, knockoff does max 67 from Jolly. Yeah, so that now kills. That now kills. It's actually a roll though. It's a 50% roll, which is unless he's adamant, which he could be. No, because surely he'd want to be Jolly to outspeed Garchomp. So I could technically risk this, but I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather keep this in the back to beat Gligar later on, because I need it to beat Gligar. I believe Vaporeon does 2-shot... I won't 2-shot Gligar, I don't think. Oh, it actually does, it does. Perfect. Okay, so Vaporeon beats Gligar as well. And that's it as Toxic, which we've seen U-turn, Earthquake, Roost, so I feel like the last move is Defog at this stage. I just get to go into Gourgeist here, which he definitely has knockoff from the way he's just played this turn. That's CSDs. He actually subs. So is this the same set that Adrian brought against me with Gallade? That'd be hilarious if it is. That'd be really funny if it's the exact same Gallade. It makes sense because Gourgeist is the response, and Gourgeist thrives off clicking like Leech Seed and Will-O-Wisp. That's exactly what Gourgeist loves doing, so subbing stops it doing all of that, which is why I ran Poltergeist last time, because Seed Bomb didn't break sub if it was bulkier, so that's something to keep in mind there. He's obviously keeping Gligar healthy because he needs it for Garchomp, so I might try and... He'll go for Axel here, which we'll do about half. I just need to hit this Poltergeist and we're okay. Yep, we're fine. We'll get rid of that. So we see Axel off of this thing. Which, you know, he has to go and hit more now. So I'll just click Poltergeist again. He will hit another Axel, it appears like. Yeah, okay, you got pretty lucky there. You got pretty freaking lucky there. 61 to 73. I mean, if I throw Axel on here into Gourgeist, and it's uh, 11, 19, so it did 60. Which, yeah, that works for him being jolly. That works for him being jolly, so he's probably jolly. Does Salazzle kill from here? Because I'd rather do that. It doesn't. Yeah, so this is pretty scary. You hit the axles, so what can you do? Mega Glade is always a big threat. Which is where, like, last time I had Scarf Zapdos, so I could have... Oh no, it was Banded Zapdos, actually, never mind. I'm just thinking my Garchomp play is probably the best one. Is it though? So he just gets to go Gligar on that. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough. Axel will kill Lele as well. I think my best play is Salazzle. Because if he doesn't have Zen, it won't kill me. And regardless of what I do, it puts it in range of something else killing. And I think Salazzle is probably my least useful member. Because unless you're Scarfed, you're slower than Lele, and if you are Scarfed, then you don't beat Aggron. If I just Sludge Wave here. He will go Carbink and sack Carbink, so that's good. We get out of that situation. Carbink goes down. He'll go into Gligar here, obviously. How much does Glade do to Vaporeon? Because what I don't want to happen here is I don't want him to get to go back into Glade off the U-turn. That's 58. So I do live. I can scold it. So yeah, I'm not against that idea. It does 58, and Gligar's U-turn does 10. But my leftovers would make that be enough. He'd also just get to go Roserade at that stage, is the thing. Which isn't great. He obviously U-turns, right? I feel like U-turn is very obviously his play here, unless he just decides to Earthquake. Which, he could. How much does Salazzle do? Like up to 40 with Flamethrower? That's on that as well. It's like 40. An Earthquake will kill, but U-turn won't do much at all. I'm actually thinking, I feel like his U-turn is very obvious here. So I'm just going to Flamethrower. But it doesn't really get me anywhere, is the thing. No, I'm just going to go Vaporeon. I do live the close combat. He does U-turns. I almost stayed in. I very almost stayed in. I actually go straight out into Roserade here, which is interesting. I'm fine going into my Aggron here. If he may two-shot me, may not. He throws spikes. So yeah, it is the more hazard stacky type set, which I'm not surprised by. How much does my... My Heavy Slam actually does more than my Ice Punch, and my Heavy Slam can kill. So I'm thinking Heavy Slam is the play here. Does Heavy Slam plus Ice Punch? No, because he can just Roost on it. So I'll just Heavy Slam. He may go for another layer of Spikes, which I think would be a good play his end. And he's trying to put me in a situation where Gligar will kill Lele with Earthquake. Pretty much, I think, is where we're going with this. He misses Sleep Powder, which is unfortunate for him. He's getting a bit unlucky with some of this stuff. Freeze and a sleep powder miss. Sleep powder's only like 70% accurate, I think, so it's one of those. I do honestly feel like this is probably the one to sleep, is the thing. Because even like if he tries to go Gallade on this, Vaporeon will always live the close combat, and I can Scold break his sub, and then I get to go like Salazzle after that. Yeah, I mean, in fact, he did hit all 3 hits on 2 Axles, so there's been hacks his side basically. It's been quite a bit. I'll just say this time, I don't mind this thing being slept. I think that's okay. It was Black Sludge, which I completely missed. He can't sleep 2 things. So I'm gonna go Garchomp here. Which he'll just spike again, which is okay. He kind of just gets to go Gligar on Garchomp though, is the thing. And it's at 100%, right? It's at 88. And we know it's max as well. I'm going to do even less. I don't think the double's worth it though. I don't think it's worth going for any kind of double here. Because he may just sack. I'm gonna go Lele. He has to go Gligar here, surely. He'll go Gligar. He'll go Gligar. Yeah, he'll go Gligar. Cool. Which my Psychic is very, very free now. And he has to max roll an Earthquake for it to kill. Yeah. I will have to get very unlucky to die to this. He'll just sack Rose. Yeah, not surprising. We're in a situation where Gligar's next Earthquake does kill though. So this is definitely still sketchy. If I can just stop the Gligar roosting, I think I'm okay. Aggron's asleep, so that's something to keep in mind. I can't really afford Gallade subbing though. If Gallade subs, it's very, very scary. I'm actually go Cinderace, which is Boots, which I feel like we saw that earlier, but yeah, we saw that earlier. It is Boots. My player's always Vaporeon here, even if he like fighting moves or something, or if he U-turns, he'll just U-turn again. Yeah, he'll go Glade on this. Now, under no circumstances can I allow this Glade to sub. No way I can allow this thing to sub. I would rather get CC'd. I'd rather get CC'd than I just go Salazzle and click Flame Thrower. So I'll just Scold. Because if he subs, that puts me in a really bad spot. I'm fine going down to 4v3 here. If he just doesn't sub, because if he subs, I basically get to... I'll have 2 and he'll have 3, pretty much, if how this works. Because Gallade is very, very scary now that Gourgeist is gone, and because he hit all those Axles. He's considering his play there, here. He may, because his play, if he really wants to try and get himself in a really good spot in this game, he will sub here, because sub gets him in a good spot here if it comes off. To be fair, from his perspective, I don't really have a switch into a close combat either. because I believe it will kill Lele from here. I just need Salazzle healthy so I can... Yeah, he does sub. Okay, good. 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 So that's now a really good play for me. That he had to make that play to try and get back in the game. So I just played it safe. He had to try and make that play to get back in the game. But I should be in the clear now. He'll show Drain Punch, which actually won't kill. So he's just risking Scald Burns here now, which I get one. So this is only getting better and better for me. It's slightly annoying because I do lose my... We've seen Sub, Axel, Drain. If he subs, he dies to... What I'm thinking is... If he subs, he'll die to Burn. So he can't do that. Oh no, it's this. But it's burned. So nothing will kill, unless he has Zen. But I don't think he'll Zen here. He'll probably Drain again. And I think Vaporeon... No, Vaporeon dies to the spikes. Never mind. Vaporeon dies to spikes. So I'll just Scald again. Yeah, Vaporeon dies to spikes when it comes back in. So there's no reason to do that. My Flamethrower with Salazzle now picks up a kill. Regardless of what it is, even the Gligar. Because we know it doesn't have this for death. We'll get 2-shot. Because it's at 77. Oh no, it's a roll actually, to be fair. This is 76. If it's at 76. It's a... Oh, it's a 98% chance, okay. And then Cinderace. Gets... Doesn't die, actually, to Flamethrower. But then I just sack Aggron at that stage and go back into it after, yeah. Oh yeah, Boots, I forgot about that. I could also plot here, actually. Then the game is just over. Actually, no, it's not, because Cinderace is still faster. But his Zen Headbutt wouldn't kill. I think Flamethrower is just my play, though. Yeah, he'll just let GALLADE go down, so there's that. What else is dead? Roserade is dead. So it's just Cinderace and Gligar now. Garchomp is Scarfed, so kills Cinderace. So my play is just to Flamethrower this. And then actually Aqua Tail will pick the game up for me. Oh no, he'll just Roost, but he's not getting anything out of this Roost. Yeah, this isn't great actually. He's going to keep roosting, right? He'll keep roosting. I also min-rolled. So I'm only going to do more if he keeps roosting. He should keep roosting here, though. Because 76 is still a 98% chance to 2-shot. Is the thing. So I'm going to plot. He'll actually go Cinderace. Which I live anyone hit here. I can just keep Flamethrowing. Yeah, he'll Sucker, which won't do enough. And Cinderace will go down. I didn't expect him to swap there. Maybe he predicted me to swap. Yeah, he probably predicted me to swap there. Did you predict swap there? Just Flamethrower again. Which will pick up the kills. So Salazzle coming through with 3 kills there, I think. Really awesome. Picked up the last 3, basically, didn't it? No, it got 4 because it killed Carbink as well. Awesome from Salazzle. Really, I played that really well actually. Didn't panic when the Axles came in. Didn't panic with the with any of that. Made a good play going for sub there. Made a really good play going for sub there. Not me going to sub. Whew, close. That was scary. I think that was closer than Foro suggests because Aggron was asleep. So Aggron was just a sack at that stage, so it was more of a Frio than it was a Foro. And Garchomp once again. Oh no, Garchomp did hit the field. I think I swapped straight back out though. But yeah, I'm just not getting to do anything with Garchomp because I'm just playing well in games is the thing, and that's one of the strongest performances I've had actually so far in this league. I'd say I played that really really well. So I'll see you guys next week where I go up against Fancify, who beat me in ADBL a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully revenge for that, and he's got a very interesting team. So I'll see you guys for that one. Yeah, see you guys next time.